You were never meant to raise a child alone. For most of human history, no one did. Imagine stepping into a modern apartment in any major city tonight. Behind a locked door, in the quiet glow of a single lamp, a mother sits alone. It is 3 in the morning. She is holding a crying infant, rocking back and forth, exhausted to the very marrow of her bones. Her partner is asleep in the next room, or perhaps away. The street outside is silent. She feels a heavy, suffocating pressure in her chest, a mixture of profound love, crushing isolation, and a nagging, whispered question. Why is this so hard? Am I doing it wrong? She is not doing it wrong, but she is doing it in a way that is completely alien to the human species. For 99% of our evolutionary story, a mother sitting alone in a dark room trying to keep a baby alive by herself would have been a death sentence for both of them. In the ancient world, raising a child was not a private family project. It was a matter of collective survival. Your ancestors survived because they practiced what anthropologists call cooperative breeding, or alloparenting, and the loss of this ancient system is one of the most silent, painful crises of the modern world. To understand how we got here, we have to look at the sheer, impossible math of a human baby. If you look at our closest living relatives, the chimpanzees, a mother chimp raises her baby in complete isolation. She carries it, protects it, and feeds it for 5 years without a single second of help from the father or any other member of the troop. She can do this because a baby chimp is remarkably low maintenance compared to a human. A chimp infant can cling to its mother's fur from day one. It grows quickly, and its brain is relatively small at birth. But a human baby? A human baby is born evolutionary, premature. Because our ancestors stood upright, our pelvis is narrowed, and because our brains grew massive, our babies had to be born before their heads became too large to fit through the birth canal. We do not give birth to infants, we give birth to external fetuses. A human newborn cannot hold its head up, cannot cling to fur, and cannot feed itself. Furthermore, a human child takes nearly 2 decades to become energetically self-sufficient. A growing human brain consumes up to 60% of the body's daily energy. In terms of calories, raising a human child from birth to maturity requires about 13 million calories. That is an astronomical debt. In the Pleistocene wild, it was physically impossible for a single mother, or even a mother and a father working together, to gather enough food to keep themselves and a slow-growing, large-brained child alive. So, how did your ancestors pay this million-calorie debt? They outsourced the labor. In the 1980s, an anthropologist named Sarah Blaffer Hrdy began studying hunter-gatherer societies and revolutionized our understanding of human evolution. She realized that humans are not like chimpanzees. We are cooperative breeders, like meerkats, wolves, or certain species of birds. In a traditional hunter-gatherer band, a newborn baby is not kept in a private nursery. Within hours of birth, the infant is passed around. It is held by grandmothers, aunts, older siblings, cousins, and trusted friends. In some societies, like the Efa people of Central Africa, newborns spend more than half their day in the arms of people other than their mothers. They are carried, comforted, and even breastfed by other women in the camp. This network of helper caretakers is what anthropologists call alloparents, literally other parents. And this simple act of passing a baby around changed the course of human history. First, it saved the mother. In a cooperative breeding group, a mother could actually rest, heal, and gather food. She did not have to choose between hunting for survival and protecting her infant. The pressure was distributed across 20 pairs of hands. Because she had help, she could give birth to her next child sooner. A wild chimpanzee mother can only reproduce once every 5 or 6 years because she has no help. A human hunter-gatherer mother could reproduce every 3 years. Alloparenting, allowed our species to out-multiply every other ape on Earth. But the most profound impact of alloparenting was not on the mother. It was on the baby's brain. Imagine the psychological reality of a chimpanzee baby. Its world is incredibly simple. It is its mother, and only its mother. The baby chimp never has to wonder if it is safe or who will feed it. Its mother's body is its entire universe. As a result, chimpanzees never had to develop deep social intelligence. They do not need to read the minds of others to survive. Now, imagine a human baby born in a Pleistocene camp. On any given day, you are carried by a dozen different people. Some are gentle, some are clumsy, some are distracted, some are warm. To survive in this world, you cannot rely on a single bond. You have to look into the eyes of a grandmother, a cousin, a neighbor, and figure out, does this person care about me? Are they going to feed me? Can I trust them? From the very first months of life, a human infant is forced to do something no other ape can do: read intentions. You had to learn to interpret facial expressions, vocal tones, and subtle gestures. You had to learn to share attention, to smile, to solicit care, and to coordinate your emotions with others. Sarah Hrdy argues that this is the very forge where human empathy was created. We did not develop giant brains and then decide to become social. It was the other way around. Because we had to survive in a cooperative, multi-parent world, our infants developed the social wiring, the empathy, the mind reading, the desire to connect that allowed our brains to expand. We became human because we shared the load of our children. But then, we built the modern world. Over the last few thousand years, and accelerating dramatically in the last century, we dismantled the village. We moved out of camps and into agricultural villages, then into dense industrial cities, and finally into isolated suburban homes. We drew boundaries. We locked doors. We took the ancient cooperative system of alloparenting, a system that had sustained us for hundreds of thousands of years, and compressed it into the nuclear family. We told a single man and a single woman that they must be the entire village. They must be the protectors, the providers, the educators, and the emotional anchors, all while working 40 hours a week in separate locations. And when they fail, when they break down from exhaustion, we tell them they are bad parents. We have pathologized what is actually a completely normal biological reaction to isolation: postpartum depression, parental burnout, the crushing anxiety of modern child rearing. These are not individual failures. They are the screams of an ancient biology trapped in an unnatural environment. Your DNA is expecting a camp of 30 people, campfire stories, grandmothers keeping watch, and children running in packs. Instead, it gets a television, a white noise machine, and a quiet, lonely room. We cannot easily go back to the Pleistocene. We cannot dissolve our cities and return to nomadic bands. But we must understand that the modern isolation of parenting is an anomaly. When you see a parent struggling in a grocery store, or when you feel the weight of exhaustion in your own home, remember this: you were never meant to do this alone. The human child is a monument to cooperation. We are, by our very evolutionary design, the children of the village. And until we find new ways to rebuild those villages, in our neighborhoods, our friendships, and our communities, we will continue to carry a weight we were never built to bear. You wake up when your body is ready. You hear the voices of the camp outside. You do not worry, because you know that today, like every day before, there are 20 pairs of hands waiting to catch you.